This is my only sponsor ever. Big shout out to my friend who gave me these. Love these. It's been a long time. I've posted some sporadic videos. You guys probably remember me from when I was doing all the crypto money life stuff. And actually, I put a lot of time into that channel from like 2020 to 2021. And it did very well until I started a couple of projects, which I just didn't have the time to do the YouTube channel anymore. But one of the reasons why that channel did really well was I was just very consistent with it. I did it every week. Well, it was during lockdown, so I basically had nothing else to do, but I did it every week, and I just made sure, even though I didn't want to do it, when I didn't have the motivation, because it's very difficult doing it every week, I just had the discipline to do it. And I've tried a few sporadic relaunches, and I've done a couple of other things, but the truth is, be told, I've just always been too busy with other stuff and kind of lacked the discipline to stick at it. A personal brand is very, very important, and it's really important for a lot of the things that I want to do going forward with my life, a lot of the projects I'm doing, the business I'm invested in. And it's also really good for me to get accountability for some of the things I want to achieve. And a lot of that accountability is actually to do with my health and fitness. And as you guys probably noticed on my socials, I've been really getting into health and fitness last few years, and really been working hard. I do work out very hard. I wouldn't say my diet is the best, but it's definitely better than it was before. And next month actually is officially 5 years since I had my last drop of alcohol. And since I stopped out drinking, a lot of stuff has changed for me. You know, if you don't know me already, I've built lots of businesses around the world. I've traveled a lot. I've been a DJ. I've partied. I've dated loads of girls. I've done loads of stupid stuff. I've done loads of clever stuff. And I want to share all that with people. And I want to give myself accountability to be able to push myself to my ambitions too. And sometimes when you've got all this comfort, like this beautiful villa I live in, it's just very difficult to keep pushing yourself. And I actually always respect the people, the entrepreneurs, the serial entrepreneurs. They make a lot of money and then they go at it again. I mean, obviously Elon Musk is the ultimate of those, because you don't need to go at it again. You've got to have like a crazy drive. And that's what I'm trying to really, really find in myself. And you've got to find that through discipline. And I'm hoping that this channel is going to really help me do it. The idea of this series, I'm going to do a 10-week series called Performance Lab, Body, Mind, and Brand, which are basically the three things that I want to focus on. And I'll come on to that on the 3 pillars a little bit later on. Now, why does accountability work? I'll give you an example. When I quit drinking, I know I've got a reasonably sized ego. A lot of people do, you know, not everyone, but I know I do. And I thought, you know, what's the best way for me to use that to my advantage? And the way that I found was really powerful was using it by telling people, hey, I don't drink. When people go, oh, you want to drink? Oh, I haven't drunk for 1 year. I haven't drunk for 2 years. And it became addictive. I really enjoyed lording over these people that were still drinking. Oh, how pathetic are you? I mean, obviously I didn't think that directly, but that's maybe they felt that when I was saying, I don't know. But I kind of enjoyed being a leader for them, being an inspiration for them. And I couldn't possibly have done that if I'd had one sip or one weekend or whatever, because people used to ask me, oh, why didn't you just like have one drink one time? And I say, well, if I do that, I lose my ability to kind of almost boast about it. And maybe if I do boast about it, it doesn't matter. At least I get the job done, which I think is the most important. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. So the 3 pillars, what we're going to do, the body, mind, and brand. So the body, that's kind of like the physical representation of yourself. That's like what you're eating, the workouts you're doing, the yoga stuff you're doing, your recovery, your endurance, everything all to do with like the physical health of your body. And I'm going to start tracking that. And then the second one is mind, and that's basically like your discipline, focus, the routine, cutting out distractions, any addictions you might have. You know, I've struggled a little bit with the vape, which has been fucking ridiculous for someone who is so into health and fitness. To me, it's just crazy. I think it's a massive endemic. So I really want to help people with that. So I've been on and off that for the last 2 years. It was just crazy to me. And then finally, the brand, which for me, it's been such a difficult thing for me to do. I I've got all of this content. I've traveled all around the world. I've started businesses. I've sold them for millions of dollars. I've raised millions of dollars. I've done crypto projects. I've been a DJ in the biggest, best nightclubs in the world. I was in China for 10 years. I speak Chinese. I'm living in Bali in this beautiful villa. I've got a Rolls Royce in Dubai, whatever. I've got all this stuff. But I haven't managed to find something that really connects with people. I guess maybe I just haven't been consistent enough. I haven't chosen exactly what it is that I want to excel at and I want to be good at. And more of it's probably been me just coming across as, hey, look at me, look at all this stuff I've got, which is definitely not what I want to do. Yes, I want people to see that I'm successful, of course. So I think that gives me authority in some certain aspect. But I don't want to come across as that this channel is, hey, look what I've got, because that definitely is not what it is. And being the right part age of 43 now, things start to change a lot, certainly philosophically. Can I spit that out? Certainly philosophically, it changes for me. I start thinking about the way I want to appear, what I want to do. And obviously I'm not perfect. I have many things that I overreact to, but there are many things that I'm very good at. Like I'm an executor. I know how to get things done. I know how to motivate people. And I've got a lot of experience in many different businesses. So those are the things that I'm going to do. They're the 3 pillars: the body, the mind, and the brand. That's what we're going to cover on this channel. The first 10 weeks are going to be mainly around recording stats and my body stuff and mind things, and starting to delve into how the brand's going to work. Okay, so let's talk about the tracking systems. You'll see on the screen here, I've got 5 categories, which is basically body, diet, mind, brand, and channel. And within those, I've got certain metrics. So body or body fat, obviously I'm going to need to buy scales for that. Average sleep, I'm going to use Apple Health, I'm going to track it every week, every evening, I'll make sure I track it. Resting heart rate, obviously you can get from the Apple Watch, that's easy to do. Working calories, also Apple iWatch, I'm tracking all of that. My yoga, my CrossFit, everything that I do will be in there. And I've got a certain target, I think, for a week based off what I've done over the last few weeks, or actually the last 2 years. I do work out a lot, so I'm kind of in good shape. And then I've also added yoga. I've added yoga into my daily routine. It's not daily, I'm doing it twice a week, but I cannot tell you how amazing it is. I've hired this private coach. She's really good. She's pretty. It gives me a little bit of kind of, sexual energy is the wrong word to use because it's not like that, but she's just pretty and she's just very good. And it really, really helps me to push hard. So I'm chasing all of those kind of things. And I cannot tell you how much difference yoga is making to my life. I feel just amazing. Then we've got the diet. So making sure I get enough protein with a certain amount of calories. No junk food. That is particularly difficult for me because I like crisps and sometimes I eat a chocolate bar or I eat sugary drink, whatever. But I'm really going to try and focus on not doing that. And I will basically give myself a score each week, whether I've achieved it or not. It's very obvious what a piece of junk food is. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to work it out. There's packs of crisps, there's like a super burger or something like that. It's obvious. And then the final one is the fast. And that's a big one for me. I've started doing that about 7 or 8 weeks ago, and it's made such a big difference again to me, like in my discipline, because it's like a test of yourself, of how well you can do as a person and how you can control your mind and realize that you are in control, not your impulses. And then it gives you a chance to go into autophagy, which is amazing for longevity. And then, of course, you burn lots of body fat, certainly during that time. So I'm helping to cut because I want to cut a bit. Then there's the mind. That's kind of social media screen time. I've downloaded an app, which I will show you guys maybe in the next episode. Maybe I'll do a quick screenshot now. It's called, what's it called? I've got a focus on. It's called Opal. Okay, and it's Opal. I'll take a screenshot of this so you guys can see it. And that really blocks off all the things like Instagram and YouTube, whatever. Anything that I'm getting pings from through the day, I'm going to completely wipe that out. And we'll follow that through focus hours and also like my screen time. And then there's reading books. I do read some books sometimes. The recent one I've read was The Sovereign Individual. Amazing book. Love that. That's really kind of inspired me about a lot of the thoughts that I have that I've been developing over the last few years. And I've been also writing a book about it, which we'll talk about much later. All the thoughts I've been developing really helped me to see it in that book. I'm okay, maybe I'm onto something, maybe I've got an idea. And it's kind of a lot of time having confidence in yourself to really believe what you think. And then, of course, there's just the brand stats and the channel stats, which is basically making sure I do a video every week. I do shorts per week, and I raise up the subs. So that's what I'm going to do for tracking. You can also have a look right now. This is me as I am today. You can see a full body round scan. I'm also going to put on my weights, which I do maybe in the next video. If I can put it on now, I'll put it down below. And we'll just add all that information and keep track of it so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Let's have a talk about the setup, which is this villa that I'm living in. This is my villa. It's called Villa Zeno Arate. It's a beautiful villa. I bought it last year, and I spent quite a bit of money refurbing it. Added a big gym, ice bath, sauna, jacuzzi. I've got plans to put a golf simulator on the roof, which is going to be amazing. But for now, this is what I'm focused on. And this gym is just amazing. It's got everything that I want. It's very set up for kind of like the high rock style that I like, which is like the high impact stuff. I've started doing kettlebell complexes. We do the yoga down there. And of course, it's got the racks. I'm doing a lot of deadlifts and squats, which for me are like the most important exercises to do. And those max lift releases so much testosterone into your body and make you feel just makes you feel alive. So yeah, this is the setup. I've also hired a chef, so he's going to cook me good food. We're going to track all of that on an app called Calorie Count. That'll be going into this video later on. Okay, so what slipped this year for me is I kind of got disorientated and distracted because I really want to start a family. So, and before I've always been, with many girls at the same time and considering whether I want to do polygamy or whether I want to be monogamous. It's been difficult. I've got a couple of really big projects that I'm working on. One is in Africa. It's a facility where we're building basically AI compute infrastructure and data centers. And we have very large PPA. I can't say where, but that's where we're working on. That's a big project for me. And my other project is my dream project, which is building a health and fitness resort. I've already obviously built a small resort here called Creek in Bali, which is doing very well. And I also need to do content for that because that's how I'm going to drive a lot of sales, a lot of investors. But this bigger project that I want to do, the fitness and health and fitness resort, is my dream. I've already got the land actually in Lombok to do the first version of it. I have 15,000 square meters up there in the hills near the GP track. And I hope that's going to work. But it's New High first and building my brand whilst I'm doing it because there's so much interesting content. And that comes on to why I think building a brand is just so important. People are consuming so much information on the internet. And, I remember the very first time I thought about this. And I think it was about 16 or 17. And I remember specifically walking over the railway bridge from my house, from the school. And I was on some Nokia phone. And I was thinking, I remember someone said to me, or I said something, I can't remember specifically, one day people are going to be shooting all their own content and we're just going to be watching everyone else's content. And they didn't say UGC because that's a new term, but they said something along those lines will be the most important. And that's where we're at today. Now, this process is being amplified and quickened by the rise of AI because no one knows what's fucking real anymore. And I think we've only got a certain amount of time for you to be able to build your own brand before that space is taken. And what's happened in the digital age is that 90% of the revenue goes to 10% of the people. And those 10% of the people are those with personal brands at the top. Those are the people that are leading. And the rest of the money goes to the rest, to 90% get 10% of the money if you're not really pushing well and not excelling at what you do. OnlyFans is a great example. It's 90% of the money goes to 10% of the girls at the top. And the remaining 90% sell their vagina for $5 a month, which is kind of crazy to me. And then it comes on to philosophy and why it matters. And I think every man reaches this kind of point in his life, realizes that comfort just kills drive. And I see many people, they just get comfortable, they just kind of get old, they get fat, and they just basically start dying. And you start to think, what am I here for? Why am I here? What am I here to do? And I've always felt like I'm here to do something bigger than this. Like there's something bigger that I'm meant to do. And I really believe that. Maybe just my own self-belief will be the end of me. But I do think that. And I'm getting a lot more into philosophy and reading these kind of books and really, the stoicism stuff is obviously big hype on YouTube. It's people talking about it, but it's very easy to talk about it. But to actually do it is a very different thing. But I genuinely believe I've had all of the comfort, I've had all of the fun, I've had all the crazy girls, I've had all the money, I've had all the cars or whatever. And, I still have a lot of that, and I want to continue growing that. But that's not what really makes me happy. And whilst I agree you have to have some money to be happy, what really makes me happy is the journey and the progress. So it's like progress equals happiness. If I'm going somewhere and it's on the up, that makes me feel good. But to go somewhere, you have to be disciplined, you have to be working hard, you have to be pushing boundaries. The obstacle is the path, a very famous quote. And I truly believe that. And that's what I'm doing this for, so that I can be the best version of myself. So when I'm on my deathbed, hopefully surrounded by people I've created or had a hand in people I've created, I can say, yeah, I had a good fucking go at that. And that's what I want to do. So this is my baseline. This is where I am. Over the next 10 weeks, I'm just going to show the data, see what I can achieve, the strength, sleep, focus, output. I'm already doing a decent amount of it, but I'm really going to dial it in now. And this isn't advice to anyone. It's accountability to me. Hopefully you enjoy the content, and maybe I'll inspire just one person, which will be enough for me. Right. Thank you for watching. And till the next time, make sure you sub down below. Obviously, I will wait until I've posted a few videos before, as you really have to sub. You believe I'm sticking at this. And see you guys soon. Thank you.